Hello, this is Chef Kecia with Chef Kecia's Kitchen, back with another video. Today we are making po' boy sandwiches. Yes, po' boy sandwiches. You gotta say that po right, or the sandwich ain't gonna be good. Just kidding. Alright, so we're gonna go ahead and get started. So let me give you a rundown of the ingredients we're gonna need. We're gonna need the Zatarain's breading mix. I use the lemon pepper one, and then we're going to need some flour. We're going to need some salt, some pepper, some black pepper. So we're also going to need some Tony Cacheres. We're going to need lettuce and a tomato to make our sandwiches. 1 lemon. We're going to need some shrimp, cleaned, peeled, and deveined, tails off. And we're going to need a pot of oil or a deep fryer if you have one. We're going to need Miracle Whip for our sandwiches or to make our spread. We're going to need some pickles, and these are sandwich pickles, and some hoagie buns. We also need 2 eggs, milk, ketchup, minced garlic, and butter. So we're just going to season these shrimp up a little bit. We're going to add some pepper to it. Add some salt, a little bit of Tony Cacheres, and we're going to squeeze in some lemon juice, about a half of a lemon. And we're going to give this the mix, get those ingredients all incorporated, get the seasoning, put it on all of the pieces of shrimp. Okay, so that's it for our shrimp. To recap, we have shrimp that has been peeled, the tails are off, they've been cleaned. And then we added some salt and pepper and some Tony Cacheres and a half of a lemon, fresh squeezed lemon, into our shrimp. And that was it. So we're going to move on to the next step. Okay, next we're going to take our 2 eggs and we're going to crack them into this bowl. And we're using these eggs and some milk to help the batter hold on to our shrimp. So we got our 2 eggs in the bowl. We're pouring in some milk now. And this is just whole milk. Gonna pour that in. And then we're going to give this a mix. Mix the milk and the egg together. Okay, now we're ready to start putting these babies together. We have our egg mixture, we have our flour mixture, and we have our shrimp. So now we're gonna take our shrimp and we're gonna bread it. We have our batter or breading, and we have our egg mixture. So we're going to take a piece of shrimp, put it down into our breading, let it get completely coated, shake off the excess, dip it into our egg mixture, and it should be completely coated like this. And then we're going to drop it right back into our breading mixture. And see, our shrimp is completely coated and ready to be fried. So once again, we're going to take a piece of shrimp, 1 piece of shrimp. You're going to coat it in your breading. You're going to shake off the excess, and you're going to dip it in your egg and milk mixture, like so. Then we're going to take that same piece of shrimp, drop it back into our breading, let it get completely coated, and here you go. That's the end result. So I'm going to do a couple more pieces of shrimp. As you can see here, piece of shrimp, breading, egg mixture, and then back to the breading. So I'm going to bread up a couple of more pieces of shrimp and get those ready to go in the oil. My shrimp is completely breaded. Now it's time to fry. Okay, we have our hot oil. It's about a quart of oil in this pot. But if you have a fryer, you can fill it up to your fill line on your fryer. You want to make sure that your oil is hot. I would say about 350 degrees, but you can just put a little of your batter in there or your breading in there. If you see a sizzle, that means it's hot and it's ready to go. Okay, so what we're going to do next is we're going to go ahead and start dropping our shrimp down into the oil. Here you go. We're dropping our shrimp down into the oil. You want to be very careful that you don't splash yourself with this oil because it is very hot. So we're just taking one piece at a time and lowering it down into the oil gently. Now we're going to let this shrimp cook until it is golden brown. No more than about 3 to 5 minutes it should take if your oil is good and hot. So we're going to let those shrimp continue to cook, and then I'll show you what they look like when we get ready to pull them out of the pan or out of your fryer. So our shrimp is about ready to come out. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a sheet pan and line it with paper towels, and we're going to go ahead and start pulling our shrimp out. And you're going to place that shrimp onto the paper towel so that it can drain off the extra oil from the shrimp. So we're going to take our hoagie buns and we're going to put some garlic butter on them and let them toast just a little bit. So I have some softened butter here, and what I'm going to do is smush this around so that the butter can get really soft. This makes it easy to spread onto my buns. And then I'm going to take a little bit of minced garlic and I'm going to add it to my butter, about a half teaspoon. So mix that around. I need to get that, make sure that I get all that garlic incorporated into my butter. And next I'm going to take that garlic butter and I'm going to spread it onto my hoagie buns. Okay, I placed my buns in the oven just a little bit so that butter can melt. Now I'm making my spread. I'm taking some Miracle Whip, which is about 3 tablespoons of Miracle Whip. Then I'm using a teaspoon of ketchup, a little bit of Creole seasoning, and you can also use cayenne pepper at this point if you like it spicy. And I'm squeezing about a teaspoon of lemon juice in here. I'm going to mix this all together, and this will be my spread for my po' boys. So now I have everything laid out and I'm ready to get started. I'm going to take this spread and put it on my bread, and I'm going to spread this on both sides of my bun. Next, I'm going to take some pickles and lay those down. Some tomatoes. Some lettuce. And my shrimp. And I'm just going to pile these on here. As many as I can get in there. Now doesn't that look fabulous? I can't wait to take a bite. I paired this po' boy with bacon potato salad. I will place the recipe for the bacon potato salad in the description box. I hope you enjoy your po' boy as much as I'm going to enjoy mine. See you on the next video, if the Lord say the same and the creek don't rise. Don't forget, like, subscribe, hit that notification bell. Bye.